These are the top 5 reasons why Google must introduce a Pixel Watch now. No time to waste, let's go. At number 5, the Apple Watch is becoming a way better option. Slowly but surely, the Apple Watch has gotten better and better. The first version was kind of a mess, and the operating system matched. Then watchOS got better. The screens got bigger, and the watch gained health functions. It could also connect to cell networks. With Series 5, there's finally an always-on display. According to Strategy Analytics, Apple shipped 5.7 million watches in the second quarter of 2019. Its global market share was 46%. That's nuts. The Apple Watch Series 3, available now, starts at $199. Honestly, if Apple offered an Apple Watch that worked on Android, I think we'd be looking at complete Apple domination. It would be like when Apple let Windows users use iPods. Game over. And number 4, you've got Google Fi. Google has its own virtual mobile network built on top of 3 US carriers. The plans start at $20 per month. Getting a dedicated data plan for a watch seems a bit odd, but Google is in the position to create a tiny data plan for its own watch. One of the bigger questions about smartwatches is, why bother to use one when you have a phone? The more a Pixel Watch can act on its own, the more likely it is you may use it instead of your phone. Google could even give Pixel Watch buyers a free 3-month trial with Fi. Why? Because Google can. Get a jump on the competition while you got a chance. You've got Google Assistant. In my humble opinion, Assistant is far more useful than Siri, Alexa, and Bixby. Let's focus on Amazon's efforts for a little bit. The company introduced a wearable ring called Echo Loop and a pair of glasses called Echo Frames. Alexa is also on the Fitbit Versa 2. Amazon is offering people ways to carry Alexa on themselves all the time. As for wearables, Assistant is locked to third-party watches. That's just not right. On top of that, Google announced it was working on its next generation assistant back in May. This new version would be able to handle questions and commands on device with what Google says is nearly 0 latency. This would work even without a network connection. Now think about that. Google Assistant on your wrist, and it does not necessarily need a network connection to work. That's huge. Since Google is the one working on the next assistant, it should get that assistant on its own watch ASAP. Also, a Pixel Watch could be a great complement to Google's smart home efforts. Just talk to your wrist to control your home. It would also help the Pixel Watch stand out against the field. That brings us to number 2. There are too many Wear OS watches. If you go to Google's Wear OS site, you can choose the perfect watch for you. You are presented with over 40 options. Which one is any good? You could research each and every one, but I think that exhausts consumers. That's just too many options. There are also tons of Android phones. If I'm a consumer and I want a Google phone, at least Google offers the Pixel phone. Is it the best phone? That's a matter of opinion, but it is definitely the most googly phone you could buy. Yes, Google could anoint a watch as its pick, kind of like the old Google Play Edition or Nexus branding. But that's the past. The Pixel is the future. Build a watch, which brings us to number 1. There is no great Wear OS watch. What's the best watch for Android phones? That might be one of those new Samsung watch options, but guess what? They don't run Wear OS, they run Samsung's own thing. Google is behind Wear OS, but none of the watch companies out there have put out a watch that blows away all the rest. I spoke to someone at Google, and I won't give away their identity, and they said their watchOS watch was, quote, not terrible. Not terrible. Sometimes, when you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself. Google, you've got the hardware knowledge, you've got the software knowledge. You are at a distinct advantage. Put it all together while you still can. Who knows, if Google bothered to make its own watch, maybe Wear OS would get better faster. A Pixel Watch is something Google needs to keep Wear OS a viable option. By the way, did you know that Wear OS watches work with iOS? But what human in their right mind would pick a Wear OS watch over an Apple Watch for their iPhone? Google needs a no-brainer option for Android people. I'm Aya Zakhtar, I'm exasperated, and I'll see you online.